All right, it is another Friday night. Every time I see that intro, Lance, I want to go reporting from around the world in your living room, the art of professional wrestling. All right, let me throw that aside. It is welcome to Friday nights, HWR's Hardcore Wrestling Radio's Four Corner Rants. I am your host, Joseph Scoldren Knight. And man, we got a good crew tonight. We have a couple of things to talk about. And we just found out where Dean Ambrose is. He's actually in Zoe's closet, and we have photographic proof. If you want to see
You're
that
on the
photo,
list, Lance.
if you want to see that exclusive photo, you must go join the HWR chat room on Facebook. That's on the group section again. HWR chat room. Well, great advertising there. Let me introduce the crew. They're going to introduce themselves. Actually, in fact, because I am eating a sandwich. She is our beloved Vicious Vixen from Kentucky's Own Wrestling. She's also the kidnapper of Dean Ambrose. She is the lovely and but deadly Zoe Nightshade.
Another great Friday night, and that's right, ladies. He's in my closet. I got to him first, bitches. Other than that, feeling really crappy, but hey, no matter what, the show goes on. I'm going to kick it over to my southern brother, Lance Moss.
Well, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, and she is contagious. Anyway, well, doing pretty good. Just uploaded a Blood Moon video earlier today, and had drunk some coffee. So I'm doing pretty good, and I'm going to kick it over to the boss man and the warden of this insane asylum, Rick.
Well, I'm the head of HWR, Rick Head, and, it's another Friday night. We got a lot of news to cover. And, earlier this week we did it in the moment, and referring to the rumored thing about Roman Reigns' sickness being, quote-unquote fake, which I said was bullshit. And I got berating by some lady who just, referring I don't know what the fucking problem is. Maybe she hasn't gotten laid in 20 years. Don't know. But with all that, you know what? We're going to start off. While Joe is doing this, I want to start off with the obvious topic, and that's Dean Ambrose leaving WWE.
Wait, Rick, hang on 1 second. Zoe, you know what to do.
God, I don't know how it's going to sound tonight with me being sick as fuck, but we'll try it. Johnny, this is for you. The Uber of Westchester.
It still sounds fantastic. I got a runny nose, a sore throat. The woodpecker is still pecking, baby.
let me interject real quick. It was so good when she says that a guy in the UK broke his penis.
Ouch!
No, and guess what? That is no. Let me say that is a legit story. And a gentleman and his girlfriend were doing the poom poom.
It was doing intercourse.
Fine. They were entering the course. So they were entering the course, and I don't know how, but she broke his little Captain Winky.
Oh my god!
So it is legit. So look it up, and you guys can find it. It was a story in the UK, but it kind of fits.
As a man, I would rather not.
Yeah, I know, right?
I would like to read that story, to be honest with you. I'd like to know how this thing broke off. I know what position that's to you.
Well, you know what? And the story goes that it actually blew up to the size of a wine bottle. And and they had to take him straight. They had to take him straight to the hospital, and they had to do surgery and all that. But you know what? That's the fault. It wasn't because they were doing rough sex or anything, or rough enter the course. It was because of Zoe saying Uber of Westchester. So that's the real thing.
That's the real reason.
There you go.
All right. So go ahead, Rick. Let's go back to Dean Ambrose hiding in the closet.
Anyways, as we all know, earlier this week, reports came out that Dean Ambrose, also known as Jonathan Good, had no plans on re-signing the WWE. WWE offered Ambrose a raise, which is rumored to be a 7-figure salary. But it wasn't good enough. Ambrose is not happy with his current character. WWE did confirm that Ambrose will be leaving in April. One article suggested this could be a work, considering WWE went public about Ambrose's release so soon after the rumors came out. And that's actually a fair question, guys. Could this be some kind of a ruse for the WWE, or... actually, like I said, I'm at odds with this. And considering he's leaving in April, where WrestleMania starts, you got to think about that too.
Well, he's leaving after WrestleMania, and I think, let's face it, today, in this day and age, everybody knows everything. Hell, the news broke out way before WWE brung it out, so it's not like WWE's going to deny it, So, and then there's podcasters reporting it, including ours. So I think personally, Rick, I think it's a legit thing. And let's face it, there's a lot of talent back there who are also upset with the direction of the company. So I wouldn't be surprised that this could be, the start of something.
Well, you have to understand also that there's a lot of talent that you're not using. There's so much talent that what do you do with all of them?
Yeah.
It's just too much. They got NXT, you got SmackDown, you got Raw, and you're still not using half your talent.
Yeah. And you know what? Kayla, he really does have a point. A lot of these wrestlers are being, either slipping through the cracks, or just simply WWE being the company that they have been, just picking up and squandering all of their talent just to keep them locked from going somewhere else.
Definitely, that could be a factor in it. I hope that it's a work, I truly do. But then again, I don't know, because I have noticed the last couple of matches that he has been booked in, he's just had this I don't give a fuck kind of attitude with the match. He's not as energetic. He's not being full-blown heels. He would be, say, if he was, a more PG-rated Jon Moxley. It's just, he's got that look that says, I just don't give a shit, pay me so I can go home.
Fair enough.
I want to throw this in, Rick. Ever since he came back, he has not been the lunatic fringe that we all enjoyed watching. When he did that little section, that he did his little version of an interview with the plotted plans and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they would have kept him in that high level of intensity and fun, I think we would have seen, I would say he would be Lance, the new age Roddy Piper.
Yeah. Now, granted, we have about 2 months, 2.5 months, something like that, till WrestleMania, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would not surprise me if they do a last-ditch effort to try to keep him, because that's a lot of time for them to try to come up with a way to keep him. Because it ain't like it's like somebody say a Heath Slater, who is a bona fide jabroni. This is still Dean freaking Ambrose.
But at the same time, you gotta understand, he's pretty much of a Brian Pillman knockoff.
Yeah, but he's made a lot more money.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But you know what? Here's a question I want to bring around to everybody. We've seen over the years when one wrestler leaves, the significant other goes with them. Mm-hmm. Now, as we all know, that Renee Young and Dean Ambrose are, a strong couple. I'm not even sure if they're married, but I know they're married. Oh, they are. Okay, forgive me for that one. So, I have to wonder, will we see Renee Young leave quickly after?
Probably.
Go ahead,
I
Johnny.
would say it depends on the paycheck. You know what I'm saying? If she has a contract, she's making good money, I don't see her leaving, because money talks, bullshit walks. I hate to say it. Take Candido and Sonny. They were a couple. She stood. He was gone. She stood with the money. And Shawn
Yeah,
Michaels.
but she was standing in plenty of other places, going on her knees, sucking people off.
I wouldn't say she stood, more like nailed, but
Again, take what's Johnny B. Good and Sable. She stood with the money.
Hey, let's go one level above that. CM Punk and AJ Lee. She stood for a little while until she decided to leave afterwards.
There you go.
Exactly.
and they fired him, I believe, on their wedding day.
Yes, they did. But then
fucked
again, on the other side, Punk did take his ball and go home. And Punk,
fair enough.
you know, now I agree it was kind of a shitty thing to do, but at the end of the day, that was on Punk. But I digress. You could also look at the Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. They both left.
Yeah.
So, you know, Cody Rhodes and his
Brandy.
wife.
Brandy.
And Brandy Rhodes, thank you. So you have those. So history has shown that when one leaves, the other goes with them.
You know,
That's just thought.
I gotta bring this up, Rick. You know, I know this is still in the early stages, and you know we've talked about AEW a lot. Everybody's talked about AEW, and they're kind of the you could say everybody's looking at them as the saviors of professional wrestling. Let's get one thing straight, you know, for everybody, listeners that are listening out there, the people who are listening out there, I should say. Right now, the company is still, it's not even, there's no TV deal. They're still in negotiation. They did talk with Turner Broadcasting. I don't know if it came, they first they said, yeah, it's a done deal, and they're going to go on TBS and TNT. We had that I don't know if that rumor was squashed or if something's going to come up, but I got to say one thing. Everybody's looking to jump ship because they don't care if the company doesn't have any TV or anything. They're looking at it, and maybe this is just me being cynical. And Rick, I'm going to toss it quickly to you first because I want your answer first. Then we'll go to Lance, Johnny, and then Zoe. But don't you think everybody leaving is because, hey, we got an opportunity because there's some money over here, lighter schedule where I can negotiate. I'm going to go to this company because they have a billionaire. I can grab some of his money, a la Hulk Hogan and Ted Turner, and go on a lighter schedule than WWE.
Well, you know what? That is a strong possibility. However, I don't think all these wrestlers are going to go right to AEW. You know, we said it before AEW even started. A lot of wrestlers went out to the indies for the simple fact is they make more money and they can make their own schedule. So to see all these wrestlers, and I'm going to just go over them real quick. Cassius Ohno, also known as Chris Hero, yep. He was looking for the door. There's Hideo Itami, which I think nobody will miss because the motherfucker either, he gets either be injured or he's injured himself for like 8 to 12 months. There's Dillian Kane and Alexander Wolf, which of Sanity. They're not happy with the situation. Although Eric Young has some nothing. So, again, this is all just food for thought.
All right, let's go to you, Lance. What do you think about all this?
Well, I saw it was like a meme or something, but it still says quite a lot. Until their first match, AEW is just letters on a T-shirt right now. Until they had that first match. So, because, I mean, hell, we were all sort of kind of talking the same thing with GFW a couple of years back.
And TNA before that.
Yeah, to a lesser extent, but like you said, hell, they even said ROH, TNA, and WWE, we might want to pick up in total 6 of your guys. This is looking like an indie, like these guys are wanting to go to the indies, not to AEW.
Well, and you know what, Zoe? Everybody makes a point, but right now, I think out of Ring of Honor, TNA, Impact, whatever, I think AOE has the more possibility of becoming bigger because of the people involved. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, as far as everybody leaving to go there, I think a lot of the reasoning being is because everybody is seeing WWE at their lowest points. They're not getting the ratings. Their creative writers suck. Their booking of the matches blows. So I think to a lot of people, it's like a breath of fresh air, and they've got that hope. Okay, well, maybe if I go here, I'm going to get a better storyline. I'm going to get booked better. I'm just hoping that, you know, they do live up to the hype that they are giving off, and they're not going to screw all of these people who have families they're working for, you know, screwed over in the long run.
Yep, and let me go to you, Johnny, now. You know, you've been in the office working in wrestling companies, hours included. You know, when there's a better opportunity for talent, they're going to jump for it.
You know, it all comes down to who wants to be in the spotlight, who wants to stay with the big names, and who just wants to have an easy schedule. You know, it all depends on the wrestler. Plain and simple. If they're going to be somewhere where they're going to get that one good payday, they're going to go. But there are guys who wants to be in there with the big companies getting that paycheck every month, you know? So it's kind of hard to, like, determine where this is going to go, where that's going to go, who's going to go here, who's not. You know, in the case of what we're talking about with Moxley, I feel that if worse comes to worse, he will jump to AEW, because if they're going to give him the paycheck, he's going to go for that paycheck that he knows he's going to get. You can go to an indie show, they'll pay you all this money, but they're only going to use it that one time.
Well, and then there is that aspect of it could, like, a 50-50, like, you might not get paid a lot.
But that's what I'm saying. So if someone tells me, well, we'll give you what the WWE is giving you, I'm going to go for that instead of saying, well, I'm going to go with this indie organization.
You break it up real bad,
Okay,
Johnny.
break up, dude.
I want my money up front, and I'm going to sound like an asshole.
There you go. Rick, final word on this before we go to the next subject, which, again, it seems to be another topic for AEW, but what do you, again, I'm going to ask you this, with all this talent seeing AEW, they know that there's a legit billionaire that's funding this, they have, like, a show coming up soon. I think, compared to Impact, where we already know that they're lost in limbo somewhere, they're lost in Canada, sounds like a bad TV movie, and with Ring of Honor not really having a good TV time, I think these guys might be interested in going to a company that could be the next big thing.
Well, you know what? Right now, as we all said before, it sounds like a big thing. At the moment, right now, AEW needs to sign some of the big name talents, and maybe a few that they already know who says, okay, this guy's going to work. Chris Jericho has known Cody Rhodes in the box for some time, so they have history. Same thing with Kenny Omega. So these guys are all melded together, so they work together. But to bring everybody in just on blindly, that could be a big mistake. We've seen that with Impact, and AEW is no different.
All right, we're gonna go into another rumor, which I'm gonna call out as bogus, because I just see this as bogus, and it's the character I just put up right there. Brock Lesnar considering going to AOE. With the buzz about WWE talent going to AEW, rumors are suggesting that Paul Heyman is talking with AEW about Brock Lesnar possibly signing a deal. I can see them signing Paul. Paul's a good mouthpiece. He could be a good spokesman for the company if you control him. As for Brock, he's a decent worker, a good powerhouse, but in my opinion, not for AEW. He is a part-timer at best. He's going to want to be the champion. He's going to want to go in there, demand big bucks, be there once, like maybe the total of 4 times a year at that. So I'm gonna consider that bogus. If Brock Lesnar says I'm gonna go to AEW, I find it highly unlikely at this point, especially given that WWE has been literally letting him run rampant with the title belt, and we have yet to see him being truly dethroned. Before I pass it around, I'm going to say a big shout out to Mrs. A from BC Games and More, the vivacious Mrs. A, and also to Ryan Poirier. He's one of my followers from Scoldron's Realm, and he also has his channel up on YouTube, which is Walking Dead 44, and on Facebook he hosts the page The Last of Us Gamers. So he does a lot of games. He just did Resident Evil 2. So Rick, we're like the odd couple. You agree sometimes with stuff. I disagree with stuff at times.
You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, I completely agree with you. I call it bullshit. And even for some stupid reason, AEW brings a fucking scumbag like Brock Lesnar over. It's going to be a huge mistake. To me, I can't stand Brock Lesnar. He is arrogant. He's self-absorbed. And I don't know, maybe he's got the bad blowjob, or I don't know what it is, but he needs to just go away. So, I'm sorry.
All right. Go ahead, Rick. What do you think about Paul Heyman, then?
Paul Heyman, don't get me wrong, he's brilliant. But since he's gone with Brock Lesnar, he's just, keeps repeating himself over and over again. This guy is a legend. He has a lot of smarts, but I think, honestly, I think he could contribute to AEW, but not have full control. I think if he works closely with Rose and the Bucks, I think it's strongly possible. And, he might be a good factor.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't go extreme. Speaking about extreme, let's go to Lance.
Well, honestly, the first time I heard about this, I thought it was a damn meme. Hell, right now, Brock is what's wrong with professional wrestling. Well, at least part of it. Some big jacked up jabroni, and that's what he is, part-time, and they put the belt on him? Huh? But, yeah, to quote Vince McMahon's theme music, there's no way no chance in hell this is real.
All right, let's go to you, Johnny. What do you think?
When you look at a guy like Brock Lesnar, I see him going to UFC before he would make a jump to AEW. And the only reason he would go to AEW is because he's probably at the end of his career. That will be his last hurrah, his last run, if AEW even lasts that long. I don't see Brock Lesnar doing any more than what he's doing now. And a company like AEW will want a company man to be at all the matches, defend the title every time. And as we all know, that's not a Brock Lesnar thing. So I see him staying with WWE, UFC, back to WWE. Once his career is about to die and he knows he has no more left, maybe he'll go to AEW as a name, do a couple of matches, make his money, and be done. As for Paul Heyman, we all know Paul Heyman as a manager, turned booker, turned promoter, turned wrestling company owner, turned advocate. So the man has plenty of background to help an organization like AEW. I don't see him taking over the company or them giving him full control, because he'd probably just fuck it all up like he did ECW. But if they use him for the knowledge that he has, he will make that company bigger than what it is now.
All right, let's go to you, Zoe. Final word on Brock and Heyman going to AEW.
Well, with Paul Heyman, I mean, that could be a possibility. I could see him going there to maybe help with creative ideas, maybe write a couple of promos and scripts for everybody there. But now, as far as Brock Lesnar goes, absolutely not. Nobody is that dumb to book this disrespectful. I mean, he's disrespectful. He's selfish. He's nothing but a little part-timer meathead that can't even wrestle full match without getting blown up within 2 minutes. And before anybody says, would you say that to his face? Absolutely. Then I kick him in his balls and I run like hell and get the hell out of Dodge.
and have Carnage whip on him.
There we go.
There you go. Like a total heel manager. Like I used to do. Get your shots in and run.
Hell yeah.
There you go. You know what? we're talking about I'm saying AED. AEW. We're gonna go back to the WWE because right now it's sad to say. You know what, folks? I know there's the Ring of Honor. I know there's Impact, but right now between AEW and WWE, they're the only ones making vulnerable big news. News. And it's funny because again, AEW hasn't got a TV deal yet. But let's go over back to the WWE, and I fucking cannot believe let me throw up the rant symbol. I'm gonna make that. So I'm gonna make up a little graphic that the rant blinks on and off. I cannot thank you. I cannot fucking believe, and I cannot fucking believe they rehired a schmuck who was mid-card at best, if not bottom of the line, piece of crap, who failed in his own company, and he had to make a company because he wasn't getting a title shots. He had to kiss up with Vince Russo to get himself the WCW title. The man is a cancer to professional wrestling, and he had to look when he got fired from TNA or Impact. He formed his own company, and the egomaniac made himself again the champion. Then he went back to TNA, selling them a bill of goods. That didn't fucking go over well. So now he sends Karen Jarrett, because Kurt doesn't want nothing to do with her. Hey, honey, can you do me a big favor? I want to go to work for the WWE. Can you just blow the locker room for me? Just blow Vince a couple of times. Yes, I know we're shriveled. He's not the genetic jackhammer. But, just give him a little tinkle right here and there. Go blow the rest of the locker room. Getting good with me so I can come back. And WWE gives this piece of shit wrestler, this low-life loser promoter, who can't keep the company going. He has no talent whatsoever. He's a honky-tonk man wannabe. And that is Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett made his return to the WWE at the Royal Rumble and then had a cameo appearance this Monday night. According to rumors, Jarrett will be working in the back as a producer. The guy doesn't even know nothing about being a producer. The only reason is his wife is blowing the fucking locker room. I digress.
Even her ex-husband.
Yeah.
You sure we're not talking about me?
I'm sure that Kurt Angle will be like, nope, already had that before, and I had to have my shit checked.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm gonna sit back. I had to say my piece. Had to get that out. I'm sorry, that guy contributes nothing to professional wrestling. The same as Vince Russo contributes zero to professional wrestling. The guy had a couple of breaks. And Lance knows Lance knows the history. This guy is from Memphis, and the only reason he made it farther, the only reason the guy made it far because his dad, the legendary Jerry Jarrett. Jerry Jarrett was an awesome promoter. He did some of the best matches in Memphis. I became a Memphis fan because of Jerry Jarrett, Austin Idol, and Jerry the King Lawler, and several others. Jeff was never in that spot. Hell, he didn't account for anything. WWE brought him in because they probably felt like, oh, well, let's give this guy a chance. WCW brought him in because, fuck, let's just see what we can do with a former WWE name. And then, after everybody used him up, he made his own company. So anyway, okay, stop. Let me stop. Let me drink more wine. Pass it over to Rick, because I'm done with Jeff Jarrett.
I think I can agree with you when it comes to shit like that. Absolutely. You said it all. The only thing I thought was absolutely hideous is not only did they bring back his Double J gimmick when he was in the WWE, think like shit. It was like everything was sagging, and I'm like, oh my god, that's rough. And then you had fucking Road Dogg come out, and everybody was like marking out for this bullshit. And I'm like, why? I literally had to shut the TV off. That was it for me. I was done, and that's all I have to say. Zoe, your thoughts?
Oh my God, what a horrible, horrible move by WWE. You know what? Let Braun Strowman have Baby New Year. We won't see double J or J-A double R-E double T ever again. Braun Strowman, he'll take care of him for us.
Hell, he's a free agent. Let's get Dean Ambrose to break his legs.
God, yes. I mean, that. Oh, I still can't wipe that outfit they wore at the Rumble out of my mind. It's... Oh, God.
Lance, let's go. Lance, you're a guy who knows about Memphis wrestling.
You had to keep bringing fucking Jarrett up. Anyway, he is the definition of nepotism, which is getting somewhere because of who your daddy is. Anyway, honestly, the best part of Monday night, or that segment Monday night, was Road Dogg. And hell, somebody got to be able to out Mike Jeff. And anyway, yeah. Note to WWE: keep Jeff away from the ring and away from out in front of those damn cameras. Because he's with the best part of him. He should have never got above mid-card Memphis.
Johnny, again, you also know the history of Jeff Jarrett. He's traveled from the old Memphis territory. He was in the USWA. He did a couple of positions. He did a couple of things in the AWA for their super clashes. He's been lucky, not because of his skills, because of his dad. Johnny Man.
Yeah, you have to understand. Hello.
Yeah. We're here. Okay. Jeff Jarrett trying to block his broadcast.
That's what it is, that bastard. So you have to give it to him. His father got him places. If it wasn't for his father, he wouldn't have ever been in the WWF. And if he was, he would have been a jobber. Okay. Jeff Jarrett, he knows the business because of his father. He's not the greatest talent of them all. He was the 1993-94 version of Milli Vanilli for the WWF because he never sang his own song. We all know it was Road Dogg. But again, you have to give it to Jeff Jarrett for staying in the limelight somehow, whether it was with TNA, whether it was with the World Wrestling Federation, now WWE. He's always been somewhere where he's going to make money. So that I give him. At least he knows how to go out there and make his way in to make money. Whether his girlfriend or wife is blowing him in the locker room, he's thinking, I got to make dollar bills. He sucks, but he's smart in trying to stay with the places where money is. I got to give him.
You know what? I got to agree with Johnny. I know a lot of people here, especially you, Joe, that people hate him and this and that, but he's always known how to make money. He wasn't good at doing anything else, but when it came to making money, he did what he had to do.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give this to him when he's down and out, and he's panhandling, and he's selling his wife off to the highest bidder.
Most people would be able to start buy her out.
Yeah, it's kind of that thing that, he'll when it's down and out, he will beg people for a job, and there is no doubt about it. I bet you he literally begged, pleaded, crawled through that little door in the wall that says "Get down on your knees to go to see Vince." He probably crawled into the office, with Karen behind him, and says, you know, Mr. McMahon, please give me a job. I know I'm not a great wrestler. Hell, I'm not even a good wrestler. Hell, I'm not even a bad wrestler. I'm a lousy wrestler. Go ahead and give me, you know what? Please give me a job. I will do whatever. In fact, I'm giving you Karen right here. Karen, go show me your talent. Go show how you can do it. And
hey, Vince, this is Kurt. You don't want to see that.
Yeah. And go after you hear a couple slurps that sounds like a bad machine from a 7-Eleven. Vince probably says, "Sure, we'll find something for you." But you know what? You know, that's Jeff. When the WWE, and you know what? And he fucks up. Jeff fucks up. So when he will fuck up again, and he'll be out the door. His novelty will wear out eventually, and he'll be gone from the company. He is not. I'd rather would have seen Jerry Jarrett being hired than Jeff.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Jerry's old, but Jerry still has a mind for the business. So, you know, but anyway, let's get out of here.
Hang on 1 second. There's a little saying. Jeff got money, but he ain't never drawn a dime.
Exactly. Thank you. You know, talking about getting a new position in the WWE, Paige is looking for a new role in the company. We already know that she has rolled a couple of times, Xavier Woods. But she's looking to even go back to being a manager, bringing back managers. WWE's Paige spoke with Sky Sports regarding her next role in the company. And while some suggested it'd be good for her to dance on a table in front of Vince with a pole in there, she said she would like to take on the role of a wrestling manager. And she stated the following: at this point, I don't know. Should I put it out in the in the universe again? I want to be a manager for somebody. I don't know who, but I love to do that. If that's not the case, then I don't know. I just want to be part of the company. I love this company. I just like to talk a lot. I don't know if I'm any good at it, but I'll give it a try. You know, I'll say this. Paige is many things, including some of the stuff that we've seen. She's a contortionist. She isn't shy for the camera. But I think being a manager and bringing that kind of theme back was always great in the WWE in the 80s. Because you had Mr. Fuji, you had Bobby Heenan, may he rest in soul. All of these guys are great. Jimmy Hart, you know, Luscious Johnny V. I mean, that's what made wrestling interesting. You always had that manager, that antagonist. I think Paige would be a great asset to. And well, let me not say asset. Lance, help me out here.
An addition.
An addition. Thank you, Zoe.
You're welcome.
Since she spoke up, Zoe, your call. What do you think about Paige being a manager?
Definitely, 100%. Yes. The girl, you can clearly tell she loves wrestling. She has got the heart for it. She's got the passion for it. Yeah, she made a couple mistakes in the past. Who hasn't? But still, yeah, she's wanting to stay part of the company. I mean, come on, let her do something. I would love for her to stay heel, possibly, and go back to, you know, doing Absolution with Sonya and Mandy, or maybe even managing the bar.
You know what, Rick? That will be, you know, an interesting mix of, you know, Paige and the bar, Paige with Ziggler, Paige with somebody to get their career going.
You know, I absolutely have to agree. You know, as to what else she could possibly do, work with other wrestlers. Like I said, despite her, you know, the mistakes she's made in the past, she definitely has a passion for the business. So I think she could honestly work, if she works with the right people. Absolutely, she could, you know, rise to the top. And you know, it wouldn't even be a bad idea to have 3 or 4 people under her reign, similar to what, like I said, the 1980 managers. If you're just managing two people, what's the point?
Absolutely. You know, we're going to have that question, who will be best for her to manage after everybody's done. Johnny, what do you think about Paige? You were never in the manager role. I was, but you were kind of like the third man of the team, so you kind of acted as the manager at times.
You know what? Before I get into the whole Paige thing, I mean, I think she'd be great as a manager. I think she'll do a lot for the business, especially for anyone who's going to be in her stable. You know, she knows what she's doing. Her family's been in the business for years, even though they're a bunch of scumbags. But again, Paige does have a lot to offer as a manager if they put her in that role. You know, no matter who she's with, she's going to enhance that talent because everyone knows who Paige is. She's pretty. She has a nice body. She's eye candy. It's just gonna shine on whoever she's gonna manage, whether it's a male or female. So I think it's a great idea. But did anyone get a chance to see the upcoming movie called Fighting with My Family?
Oh, that comes out February 22nd.
Do we know who that movie's about?
Paige and AJ Lee and her family.
And all that stuff. So I think that not only the movie coming out is gonna skyrocket her more, but as a manager, I think that is gonna make her a very, very strong talent when it comes to managing other wrestlers. So I think it'll be a good move for her to be a manager instead of being whatever commentator or whatever the hell she is now.
All right. You know, Lance, with some of the talent needing a speaker, and like I said, plus the fringe benefits of maybe getting a little bit of a page of their own, what do you think? You know, do you think this can work? And do you think she can fit in that role?
Absolutely. I wasn't sure what you quite meant by Paige wanting a new position, because I have seen those tapes, so I really wasn't quite sure on that one. But she would absolutely work for as a manager, because I know, especially the commentator thing. I don't know if that would work, because for some reason, certain individuals backstage, i.e., Kevin Dunn, do not like foreign accents to be a lot. Like they gave Becky a lot of crap for her Irish accent. So I think it'd be more of a heel manager, like, say, they're ready to bring Aleister Black up or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. And that makes a good point, you know, for guys like Aleister Black. Well, you know what? Let's go around the table real quick. Who would Paige manage? Let's throw this out there, and I'm going to throw that out to the folks listening out there. Who would Paige manage? Who do you think would be a good addition to a new Paige stable, or the first family of Paige, or whatever she would like to call it? But what wrestler or tag team or wrestlers do you think will fit Paige? I'm going to go out, and I'm actually going to say the Bar, because while they don't need her to do much in the ring, but the eye candy interference, she almost reminds me of Sensational Sherry. She can still get in there. She can do a couple of kicks and all that. She can't get into a full-blown match because of her neck, but she can still interfere. Rick?
Well, here's one that I think honestly is different. I think Asuka would be good for her, because first and foremost, Asuka's a great wrestler, and I know she has some of that, her English is very broken hard too, and then when she starts going out, I can understand why she wants to, use her original accent to maybe get some of the fans over abroad, and that's not a bad thing either. But Paige definitely would be a good side for her, and I think honestly it would have to be a mix, maybe a couple of males, but mostly I think primary females. When we saw, Sensational Sherry, she was a lot more, to me, seemed to be more of a stronger. She had more of kind of a mix with men. She looks like she's the type of person who could smack a guy around. Paige is a little bit more petite, so I think staying in the women's roster would probably be a better idea for me. I could see maybe, if you wanted to bring in, oh God, I can't think of her name. She just came up. She was with Sanity.
Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross, thank you. My brain had a brain fart there. So I think those two would, be a part of that would be pretty good. Even though like Asuka and Nikki Cross aren't really a blend, but you can see where I'm going. You can see other women going on and off, and maybe even causing a little bit of stress within that stable until Paige says, "All right, guys, we need to fix this up." But that's just my thoughts. I could be wrong, but
All right. Well, let's go to you, Johnny. Who do you think Paige should manage?
If they're going to keep her in the women's division, call me crazy, but I think she will play a good role of the J.J. Dillon for the Four Horsemen.
That's a thought. That's a good thought there. I think her and Charlotte would clash, but that's a good thought. I didn't think of that.
Go ahead. She has a talent. She can talk. She can wrestle. She can break her. She can do everything. And I think that would be a really good role for her to be that heel manager for that team. Just like J.J. Dillon was. J.J. was a great addition to the Four Horsemen as a manager. Fantastic. And I think she would play that role really well.
All right. Let's go to you, Lance Man, real quick before I go to Zoe.
I honestly do kind of think Nikki Cross, because it would be like Paige would be pretty much the only one that would be kind of crazy enough to, I wouldn't say control, but kind of wrangle Nikki Cross.
That's it. Again, so far that's two with Rick and you. Zoe, final word on Paige.
So if I had to choose women, it would definitely be forming Absolution again, because face it, Mandy Rose needs a shit ton of help. If I was going to say tag team, definitely I would say the Bar. If I was going to say just a single wrestler, I don't know why, but I feel like because her and The Miz have both been in movies, such as her being in Santa's Little Helper and the documentary on her life and everything, I think they could do the whole A-lister gimmick thing together. I think it would rock.
All right. I think the Maurice might get involved in that setup here. Well, let's go into let's talk a little ahead now. We're going to talk about WrestleMania 35. 35 years. I remember the first WrestleMania, and I was actually the first WrestleMania. But let's go talk about the Raw Women's Championship. And as we know right now, it is official. It is Becky Lynch who has challenged Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. And so far it seems to be the main event for WrestleMania, which is again another first. If they put this match at the main event, I don't think Brock will appreciate that, but that's what they're looking to go. As many as you know, that Ronda Rousey will be defending her Raw Women's title against Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 35. According to Sports Illustrated, that's a magazine I haven't heard in many years, WWE is considering making it the main event. SI and The Observer had conflicting rumors that Charlotte could be a mix, making it a triple threat match. At this moment, nothing has been confirmed, so take it with a grain of salt. I don't want to see Charlotte. Reed needs to move on, take his little Captain Winky, and go take on somebody else. She needs to go away. She needs to start moving on to a different place. I don't want to see Charlotte no more. At least not right now. The makeup job is not making her look any more prettier. She still looks like it's still Reed in a dress. I don't want to see that. I want to see Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey. And I think out of everybody in that locker room, Ronda and Becky match alone will be a good match because of Becky alone. And I think personally, me, you want to make that the main event, stretching it a bit, but considering it's going to be Brock and somebody else, yeah, I could see Becky and Ronda being the main event. No Charlotte. I want to see a Becky win over Ronda Rousey, and then a little bit of a rematch before it's over. Rick, I don't want to see Charlotte. I know I'm stressing that, but I want to see Becky and Ronda one-on-one main event with Becky walking away with that strap.
You know what? I agree with you 100% because unfortunately Becky Lynch has always done the one-on-one opportunity, but somehow Charlotte, I have to say for the most part, has wiggled her way into a triple threat, and then it became a fatal four-way. But Charlotte was always a major factor in these matches. I think what honestly should happen, because we do have Elimination Chamber coming up, I would like to see a Becky Lynch versus Charlotte, but Lynch has to win 100%. So that's going to solidify her going in strong to WrestleMania. And you know what? Honestly, Rousey needs to drop the fucking title, either go cry in a corner for 3 or 4 months, and come back and start, wrestling, or maybe even have a rematch at Payback where, again, Lynch gets the win. Even if it's a questionable win, but I would definitely say put the title on Lynch. She's very hot right now. The fans are behind her. Why break a good thing?
Absolutely. And right now, if Ronda drops the title, the best thing you could see her do is team up with Natty for a shot of whoever's the Raw Women's Tag, or whoever the World Women's Tag Champ will be. That's why I see Ronda's next place in the women's tag team. Let's go to you, Zoe. We're talking about women wrestlers. You're one. Let's hear it.
I just really, really hope that Ronda is not as bad as she was last year at WrestleMania. That was just horrible, horrendous. I'm like you guys. I am so sick and tired of seeing Charlotte Flair weaseling her way into all these fucking championships matches, going, "Daddy, Daddy, please help me out here." I mean, come on. I do want Becky to win. That's probably going to be the only reason why I watch the match, is because I'm hoping she'll break Ronda's fucking arm.
Yep, you know what? And again, she has the potential to be that girl, to actually walk away with that belt. Lance, let's go to you. What do you think of this scenario? And do you think Charlotte deserves to be in there?
Well, first, that is a man. So she should qualify to be in the match any damn way. But, hell, as many damn times as she's sucked on Uncle Paul to get into title matches, it's about damn time they give it to somebody else. I don't want to see her in the main event of WrestleMania. Give it to Becky and Ronda, sure, but put the belt back on Becky and let Ronda do whatever they want to do with her. I don't really care at this point. But yeah, keep Charlotte away from the damn main event. It's over damn done. What are they trying to do? Give her 17 title reigns so she can be the female Ric Flair or some bullshit like that?
That's a good point. Let's go to you, Johnny.
You know what? I wasn't even paying attention.
No, we were talking about Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey, and with the prospect of them throwing possibly Charlotte in there.
You know what? Again, Charlotte is still the daughter of one of the best wrestlers we've all known. So you want to throw Charlotte? I think she'll be a good mix. She'll make the match more interesting, which I think is why they put her in that match. I see Becky Lynch coming with a win because of Charlotte Flair.
I'm gonna disagree with you. Anytime, I think, Rick, and I want you to have the final word because we're coming to the end of the show. A one-on-one match will mean much more to these two women. Ronda will be able to prove herself more. Becky will definitely be the top woman in the company and done something that only Charlotte has done, and win both both women's titles. This has to stay 1-on-1.
Again, I absolutely agree with you. Rousey, again, like I've said before, she's hot. Fans are behind her. To have Ronda fucking freaking Rousey or whatever, or fucked up Rousey, because she can't keep a match together without somebody else carrying her. Rousey needs this win, and to break it would just be a huge mistake.
You mean Becky needs this win?
Becky, yes. Sorry. Becky definitely needs this win. Don't mind me, guys. I've been smoking a little too much tonight.
Yeah. Hopefully they get this straightened out, and hopefully we will see another Becky win, because she totally deserves it after the black eyes and all that. Another rumor, real quick, before we go. R-Truth was injured by Nia Jax. That's the word going around, that when she tossed him around, he actually got hurt. And given that they had to do that storyline with Nia going into the Rumble, I think that's why they gave him the U.S. title. So, Ron Killings, R-Truth, it's good to see him at least holding a belt for now. He deserves it. He's been in the company for too long. So, congratulations to the R-Truth on that U.S. title win. We didn't talk about that, but we will talk about him and possibly other things coming up. Maybe more AEW, maybe more WWE. Right now the other companies are very quiet. I could see the heads inside Impact. You know what? Real quick, I'm gonna toss this out there. Rick, you're in the boardroom of Impact Wrestling. What will be happening?
Honestly, at this point in time, I don't even know if there's any really top talent in there. We just recently seen EC3 leave. Bend Over Bobby, he's over at WWE. Why they signed him is unfucking me. And then, of course, right now, I think the only other real talent that I respect over there is Eli Drake. Moose, he has some potential, but I think he still has work to do. Other than that, if you mentioned other names, I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe, but that's just Impact. Unfortunately, the company needs to be scrapped. They've changed venues, they've changed channels, they've changed with owners. I hate to say it, but enough is enough. The only way they could probably have a shot is if they work with WWE and say, look, we would like this time slot on the WWE network. And even still, I think WWE would say, well, maybe, but we really have full control of what's going on. That's just that.
All right. Lance, real quick, you're in the boardroom of the Impact. What will be going on?
Well, considering the only because I only know of their stuff from watching their YouTube channel, and really the only talent they got is that's actually worth a damn is Rosemary. So I'd pretty much say call Vince up and say, "Hey Vince, you want to buy another company?"
All right, Johnny. Again, same questions for you. You're in the boardroom with Impact Management. What's going on?
I'm about to shoot everybody dead. You know what? I can't even answer that question.
All right, let's go to you, Zoe. Go ahead, Johnny. Johnny, go ahead.
Okay.
Zoe, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm in the boardroom at Impact. What's going to happen? I'm going to be hearing, well, you guys and gals, it's been a surprisingly long run, but we fucked. We ain't going to be doing this no more. The last board meeting.
And with that, I can see them just torturing, just sitting there, all having nervous breakdowns, drinking drinking the heavy stuff that Lance makes, and
lighting the fake plants on fire.
and just like, well, we lost. This company is the spits. So, folks, you know what? We're come to the end of our show. Again, it's been a long time. I mean, we've sat down, we've been through this, we've talked a lot. I now it's time for us to put the end to the show. So with that, I'm gonna say, Lance, let's go to you first.
Well, every once in a while I go live on Lance Moss TV and friends. I never know who's going to show up. And every Friday I put out a video. Actually, today I put up my Blood Moon video. And well, you can hit me up on Twitter. It's at Lance Moss TV. So yeah.
All right. Let's go to you, Zoe. Anything going on in Kentucky's own wrestling?
You know it always. I do want to give a big shout out to all the fans that came down to our show last weekend. We ran out of chairs. We ran out of parking spaces. We ran out of standing room. So it was huge. Big thank you with that. We do have a show tomorrow night in Monticello, Kentucky, and every match will be inside of a steel cage. Now, unfortunately, I will not be there because I have tested positive for strep. Don't want to get anybody sick. And, yeah, other than that, typically I go live on Friday nights at 10:30 for Scary Stories over on the Nightmare Vixen Facebook page. However, canceling that tonight as well because, like I said, I'm sick. But other than that, you guys can always find me at Kentucky's Own Wrestling on HWR or on my fan page, Zoe Nightshade.
All right, Rick, let's go to you.
Well, as many of you know, I am the head of Hardcore Wrestling Radio over on Facebook in the group section, HWR chat room. As always, of course, we have our live podcast, Four Corner Rants. We have the latest news and rumors. We cover all the pay-per-views. And, of course, every Monday, I give play-by-plays and my thoughts about Monday Night Raw. So, I also put the latest banner up, which is the AEW tribute to them. So, if you want to know a lot more, you got to check us out at the HWR chat room in the group section.
All right. I cannot say this. I'm going to let Zoe do it for me. Zoe?
The Uber of Westchester.
I just heard a crack.
I just heard him swerve off the road.
It's a crack in my pants. My zipper just blew wide open. Anyway, here it is, guys.
Playing with the throttle.
And I'm driving stick shift here, girl. Take it easy. I drive for Uber. One of the best decisions I ever made. I work for them part-time. Money to be made, guys. You can catch me on YouTube at the Uber of Westchester. Also have an Instagram with the same name, just underscore every word. And I said there's plenty of bonuses and incentives for all new drivers. The rates went up for drivers, so you're going to be making just a little more money than what you normally make. Guys, the best decision I ever made was working for Uber part-time.
All right, and let me do a quick shout-out. He's not here tonight, but every time we do get him, it's a laugh a minute. He is that son of a bitch, Andy, and you can find him on Stoked Haunted. If you love the paranormal, if you love shows that are paranormal and from the UK, then check out Stoked Haunted at www.stokedhaunted.com. And every Tuesday night, join BC Games and War. BC and Mrs. A. They go on live on Facebook at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday night. They talk about retro games and other retro items, so check them out. Just do the hashtag BC Games and More, and you can find them on Facebook. With me, I am Joseph Skoldrin, and you can find me on my numerous pages on not only YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook under the hashtag Skoldrin's Realm. You can also find me on Twitter at Skoldrin. And with that, I have a giveaway that's going to begin tomorrow. Winner will be getting their choice of a Skoldrin's Realm t-shirt plus a little classic mini arcade machine. There's a little toy that you can have on your desk. It plays the real game, surprisingly. So I will be giving that and possibly other things in that bundle. So check me out too. Again, hashtag Skoldrin's Realm. And this is, or this, should I say, this has been our HWR Four Corner Rants. We have T-shirts. We have the Lance Moss Cross Guitar T-shirt, the Vicious Vixen Zoe Nightshade, Stoked Haunted Uber Westchester. We have the HWR Discretion Advice shirt, My Scoldion's Realm, and the most famous shirt out of them all, Lance.
Buy the shirt!
It is the BTS Buy the Shirt. You can get them now for $19.99 plus $5 shipping and handling. Just post in the HWR chat room what you're looking for, what size and how many, and we will get you all the information and get that out to you. Again, this has been HWR's Four Corner Rants. We will see you next week. And with that, one more time, Lance.
Buy the shirt!
Yeah, buy the shirt indeed. Real quick, Zoe, are you ever going to let Dean out of the closet?
Oh, God, no. Shut up in there. You'll get over it.
Rick, are you going to... Oh, wait, we're still live. Rick, are we going to contribute to this? Are you going to offer any words of advice for Zoe?
Buy the shirt for the Zoe Nightshade Legal Defense Fund.
I saw Kayla's closet, and I finally revealed exactly that he's in there. That's confirmed. Whether he's going to AEW...
You're not going to get the FBI up my ass again.
Again,
well, unfortunately, I didn't find him, but unfortunately, left your closet door open just a little bit. That's a mistake, Zoe. I'm just saying.
Damn it.
And you can see that picture on HWR chat room on Facebook. So again, join us all. I got to say one thing before we go off the air, because we got already a little bit over time. Thank you everybody for supporting HWR. The numerous shares, the numerous likes, especially when we do our pay-per-view coverages. You guys are completely awesome. Support each of our channels on YouTube, Facebook, and such. Again, great bunch of people. We really appreciate. We're seeing fans join the HWR chat room, being part of the program. Again, thank you all for that. I know, Rick, this is your baby, and we're seeing a whole bunch of new faces in the house.
Absolutely, and like I said, discretion advice. That's just a moniker. This is what we do, and if you got a really thin skin, this is not the place to be.
Okay, folks, and with that, I'm going to say good night. One more time, Lance. What did they got to do?
Buy the shirt!
Buy the shirt, indeed.